Imagine that you're a green light, right? There are a multitude of other green lights out there, but not everyone's a green light. Some people are red, some people are orange. Everyone is a different color. So when you put out your work that is coming from your green light point of view, you're going to attract other green lights, right? It's going to resonate with other people that are on that same frequency, that are on that same path. It's not necessarily that everyone in your family is a green light. Maybe no one in your family is the same color as you. No one in your friendship circles are the same color as you. Maybe this thing that you have to do is actually going to reach people outside of everyone that you know right now. And that's why it seems so scary. It seems like everyone's going to judge me, whereas actually it might be for people on the other side of the world who really need to hear your specific message, your specific medicine. Reminder, you did not come here to play someone else's game, to box yourself in, or to let fear guide your choices. You came here to experience joy and abundance and to love the shit out of your life. The Truejectory podcast is here to remind you of a few important truths. 1, you are the creator of your reality. 2, anything that you can dream or imagine, you can create. 3, following passion is the quickest way to align you with your true path. 4, your reality is always a reflection of your current thoughts and beliefs, and those thoughts and beliefs can be changed at any time. You are amazing, and it's time to own who you really are. Tune in weekly to be reminded that you can create the life that you're dreaming of and to learn exactly how to do it. Get inspired by those who have been bold enough to follow their passions and have created their dream life because of it. If you're ready to stop playing small, stop holding yourself back, and start aligning with your trajectory, let's do it. Today, I want to talk about confidence. I want to talk about not just cultivating it and becoming confident, but then how to actually maintain it and hold on to it. I know you know what I'm talking about when you've had a really confident day and you start charging ahead on some projects or some things you've been wanting to work on, and then suddenly, it could be a simple comment, or it could be a thought in your mind, or it could be anything that just kicks you off that horse and you go, oh, what's the point? You start judging yourself and all the fun little emotions come back into the picture. So I want to talk about how we can actually shift our mindset to understand how to stay in that state of confidence. And I'm talking today to those of you who have those things that you want to do, whether it's a project, whether it's a group course, whether it's starting up a little talk at a local community hall, it could be absolutely anything that's calling to you to do, but you are the only one holding yourself back because of fear of judgment, fear of being in control, fear of people expecting things of you, fear of not being good enough, fear of not being able to maintain it, anything, right? Fear of the unknown, because you're stepping out of your comfort zone. And this is what we want. We want to step out of our comfort zone. When we're in the comfort zone, that's where life stops happening. Everything is a little bit static and just same. And that's a game of the ego. It loves to keep you there because it loves to be safe. And also, ideally, it loves to be separate. It loves to make itself feel like it's separate from others, whereas the truth is we're actually all the same thing. We're all connected and we're all going through these things. That's why we really deeply resonate with each other when we see each other go through these sorts of struggles. And today, I just really want to give you some tips that have helped me when I've gone through so many different phases in my life where I've been really confident and then really low. And I've even had to pull away from social media for a couple of years where I couldn't even deal with anything. I couldn't deal with seeing what other people were doing. I couldn't deal with comments. I couldn't deal with anything. It was a very fragile state of mind. So I have come up with a couple of different things that have really just helped me when I start to charge forward on a project and then those doubts and fears start to niggle at me again. I go, okay, let's put this back into perspective. And I use these tools. These 5 things they've been really helpful for me. So I hope they help you too. So let's first of all talk about how you might be holding yourself back because of that fear of judgment, right? And this is very common. We are constantly thinking that people are going to judge us. So let's just think about this for a second. We want, in an ideal situation, right, is the ideal situation that whatever you create, every single person in the world likes or loves or, respects or whatever. I feel like that's what we actually think that we want, but it is so unrealistic. And I think of fruits. Let's use fruits or vegetables as an analogy. Do you like every single fruit and every single vegetable? Do you love them all? Do you want to go and comment on their Facebook pages and like social media pages and go, oh my God, I love you. I love everything about you. Or are there some, and obviously I know fruits and vegetables don't have social media platforms, although, you know, who knows, maybe some of them do. Or do you love some fruits, some veggies? Do you like some other ones? And then do you really dislike some of the other ones? This is the same with humans. We don't all love all of the same things. And this, I have to keep pointing out, is a fantastic thing. Imagine if we all liked the exact same things. We all wanted to do the exact same things. We all wanted to support the exact same things. That's, again, a very static way of living. That would actually cease evolution. We would be exactly the same. It's the contrast, it's the differences, it's the variables that make us evolve, that make us seek to reach new things, that give us ideas, that spark inspiration. So contrast is fantastic. So you have to go into whatever it is that you're wanting to push forward on. You have to go into it understanding that not everyone is going to like what you're doing. And it took me a little while to get my head around that. But again, that's a game of the ego. It's the ego thinking, oh yeah, everyone's got to like it, whatever. And if they don't, you know, that's going to be so offensive. But the truth is, why would every single person like what you're doing? We're not all wanting the same thing, and that is good. So remember that one, the fruit analogy, fruit or veggies. It's a simple one to remember. You don't like every single piece of fruit. They're all at different, varying degrees of interest to you. And it's the same with music. It's the same with movies. It's the same with people. It's the same with personalities. It's the same with recreational activities. We all have different interests. So stop expecting everyone to like everything you're doing, and don't let that fear of someone not liking what you do stop you. Because what I'm trying to say here is just really harness that. Hold it. Take it in now, in advance, before you even push forward on these beautiful goals and dreams that you want to move towards. Hold it close to you, the understanding that this is going to resonate with a certain bunch of people. Imagine that you're a green light, right? And there are a multitude of other green lights out there, but not everyone's a green light. Some people are red, some people are orange. Everyone is a different color. So when you put out your work that is coming from your green light point of view, from the things that you've lived, you're going to attract other green lights, right? It's going to resonate with other people that are on that same frequency, that are on that same path, that really get you. But you need to understand that it's not necessarily that everyone in your family is a green light. Maybe no one in your family is the same color as you. Maybe no one in your friendship circles are the same color as you. Maybe this thing that you have to do is actually going to reach people outside of everyone that you know right now. And that's why it seems so scary. It seems like everyone's going to judge me, because you're only basing that off the people in your circle, the people that you know, the people you spend the most time with. Whereas actually it might be for people on the other side of the world who really need to hear your specific message, your specific medicine. Okay, so those are two things that really helped me to go, dude, yeah, just do the thing. Like, if you've got something to say, and I have been wanting to do this podcast for 7 years before I started it. It was eating at me, you know what I mean? It got to the point where I'm like, yes, I need to just start speaking, and I'm not going to be forcing this on anyone. If you don't want to hear about this, don't follow it. Don't look at my Instagram. Don't join on. Like, it's not for everyone. And I would never push it onto people, you know what I mean? And it's you're the same. You're not pushing your beliefs onto anyone. You're just creating something that resonates with you and allowing that to be felt by whoever is in harmony with that. So those are a couple of big ones. And let's also, I'm just looking at my notes because I've got so many little golden nuggets here that I didn't really put them together very neatly. So understanding that expecting all people to love your message is a game of the ego. That is a big one. This keeps your confidence up when you come up against judgment or people who don't get you. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. There's a step of, cultivating confidence, creating it, and we'll get into that in a minute. But there's also a big part of this piece is to maintain it and to be able to hold on to that when you do come up against some people. There will always be some people who want to throw some hate, who don't get it, who don't resonate with it. It might even be that you're triggering them in some way. Because when you speak truth, when you do things that are pure, it affects people. And some people don't want to be affected in that way, and they can throw hate at you. And that's where one of the really important things that I want to talk about is that to remember, this is a very basic one, but remember that healed people don't hurt other people. When you have gone through your own healing journey, and, not to say that that's ever complete, we're always going to be working on ourselves, but when you've gone through a big amount of healing and you've come out the other side, you feel like you're a completely different person, you don't want to then go and make other people feel like crap. You've been in the depths for a while and you've been working through those shadows. And when you come back out the other side, it's like, oh my gosh, how can I help anyone else to feel good? How can I help anyone else that I see that's going through the thing that I just went through? You don't come out the other side going, oh, how can I hurt people? Because if you're still in that state, then you haven't actually healed. So healed people don't hurt other people. And this is where the old saying comes in, hurt people hurt people. It's such a good one to remember, because this is like, if you do see comments come up on your social media or something like that, or you get some negative reviews or feedback. First of all, feedback is always fantastic. Even through some hateful lines, there can always be some little golden nuggets of wisdom that you hear from someone where they're sort of going, it might give you some insight into how other people are seeing your work. But in general, it's coming from a place of lack, of fear, and of insecurity. So when someone comments on your work and it's really negative, it's up to you what you want to do with that. But I see them as people, and it doesn't happen very often because, again, I'm not forcing this onto anyone. I'm putting this work out there, and whoever resonates with it can come and watch it and consume it. But it's not like, if you're spending your time consuming content that you don't want to consume just to spread negative comments on it, I just look at that and go, what's going on, guys? Like, get your own thing going on. You obviously don't have much going on in your life that you want to just spread that hurt. But again, that's because hurt people hurt people. So I always, and I've said this before, but I always look at, haters, as you would call them, as innocent children. And I'm not ever going to get into a fight with a child who doesn't realize their ignorance, who doesn't realize their insecurities are just being like projected like crazy. And it doesn't really affect me. It used to, it absolutely used to. I would have one person say one little thing on a page or a post or something, and I'd be like, oh my God, why do I even try? What's the point? Blah, blah, blah. You'd have 50 beautiful comments, one negative one, and that one negative one would just keep me up at night. And it's definitely gone now. There's definitely not the way that I feel anymore. And so I wanted to share these things with you because I just think it's so empowering when you can actually put your work out there, understand in advance that yes, it's not going to resonate with everyone. But then we're looking at the fact that the people who do tend to throw a little bit of hate, a little bit of shade here and there, which isn't too often these days. People are sort of doing their own work a little bit more rather than just, projecting everywhere, left, right, and center. Everyone's kind of going, yeah, I realize that if I'm throwing hate, then I probably need to do a little bit more work on myself. And so understanding that in advance is going to really equip you to deal with any negative feedback, anything that is sort of in the past would have really hurt you and kicked you off that path. So those are the first couple of things. Understanding that not every single person is going to love your message, and that's totally fine. And that's actually what we want. We don't want everyone to love the same thing. That's a dictatorship. That's really not what we want. Then secondly, remembering that those who do throw hate are hurting. So really all you can do is send them love. Don't retaliate. Don't get caught up in that. Don't feed it. It's just about seeing it and going, look at how much I've grown. That sort of thing used to hurt me. And now I'm like, I can just see through to the core of that person and what they're going through. Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you're enjoying this episode so far and getting a lot of value out of it. I'd love to ask you to take just a couple of seconds to rate and subscribe to this channel. Once you do that, take a screenshot, let me see that subscribe button hit and the rating, DM that to me on Instagram at Truejectory, one word, and I have a gift for you. I'm going to send you a link that's going to lead you to some digital artwork. These are pieces that are all original photography. I've gone out in nature and taken some beautiful shots. I've got some quotes over the top. I've got some affirmations. And these are pieces that you can blow up to any size that you wish and hang them around your home or your office. And they're going to keep you in a positive mental headspace at all times. Whenever you look at them, they're really calming, beautiful pieces. So thank you so much in advance for rating and subscribing. I really appreciate your support. It's going to help us get these messages out to a larger audience. And I want this space to be somewhere that you can come every single week to be supported, to be motivated, to be inspired, to be reminded that you can create the life that you choose. And all of the beautiful guests that I have on every week are examples of just that. So thank you in advance. I've got so much love for you. Stay true, and I'll see you soon. Let's now look at a couple of ways to really cultivate and create that confidence. This is so simple, guys. It's so simple, but we just make it so complicated. You might be thinking that you're not confident in something. And I have spoken about this before in previous episodes, but repetition is key to learning, right? So I want to drill this one into your heads. Being confident is about being competent in something. Being so competent, you've put in so many reps that you could do it in your sleep, that it's not something that's scary to you anymore. Think about it. It's not that you're not confident in certain things. It's that you haven't yet put in the reps. You haven't yet practiced over and over again to get to the point where you're like, this is easy for me. You can drive confidently. You can do certain sports maybe. Maybe it's doing makeup, maybe it's cooking, maybe it's looking after your kids. There are certain things in your life that you are super confident at, that you don't need to ask anyone for, how do I do this? You don't doubt yourself, you don't second guess, you just go in and do it because you've done it so many times that it's literally like autopilot. And the beautiful thing about the human body, the human mind, the biocomputer that we are, is that we can be programmed to be confident in anything by just putting in the reps. Putting in as many reps as possible. Right now, as many of you know, I am putting in the reps with guitar and piano. These are two things I've wanted to learn my whole life. And I kept telling myself, I'm just not good at it. I'm never going to be good at it. And all these negative stories would come up, and impatience and all of these things, expecting results right away. And now I understand the 1% a day thing is actually real. Making 1% of progress every day. I understand how happy I am when I do make some progress. I'm witnessing my progress every day. I'm getting more and more confident. I'm watching, I record myself. I film videos of me playing guitar once a week or something. And every time I look back at these videos, I'm blown away at how much I'm actually progressing. But this is possible in anything. So anything that you want to be confident at, just put in the reps. And this could be, if you want to be more confident talking to people, then maybe join a local Toastmasters. Maybe get comfortable talking on stage in front of people, just to really break down those barriers of fear. Maybe go and join a salsa class and learn how to dance with a partner and get used to working with someone else and being super uncomfortable and out of your comfort zone. There are so many beautiful things that you can do to start moving forward on this. But that is... it's just such an easy one, right? Like, just put in the reps and you will find the confidence. Next one is keeping the promises to yourself. So this is a really, really big one. I love the way Ed Mylett said this in a podcast I watched recently. I think it was School of Greatness. He said, when you're lacking confidence, it's because you have a bad reputation within yourself. And I was just like, yes, that's the perfect way to say it. Because if you're not keeping promises to yourself, if you're saying, I'll make that call, I'll do it later, or you're avoiding things, constantly avoiding things, if you're being lazy and keep pushing the things that you know you need to do now till tomorrow and the next day and the next day, the tomorrow version of you and the next day version of you is going to just feel like absolute shit, because they're like, I can't even respect myself enough to do the things I need to do. Now I've dumped myself with all of these overdue tasks that I'm now super surrounded with stress about, and it's just not necessary. So keeping promises to yourself is huge. And I have found a really great way to start doing this is to include my future self into the conversation at all times. And again, I have said this in a previous episode, but this is, again, we're talking repetition, getting things really locked into our brains. Include your future self into the conversation. When you go to ignore the washing, or you go to say, I don't need to do the dishes tomorrow. I'll do it in the morning when I'm, before I go to work. Who actually wants to wake up and do the dishes before they go to work? Don't you want to wake up to a beautiful, clean kitchen and not have to think about that and add that to your list? That future version of you surely doesn't want to be dealing with that shit. So including that future version of yourself, when you think, I'm not going to do that thing, let the future version of you who's going to have to deal with it come into the conversation and find out how they feel about it. And imagine what it's going to be like if you do it or if you don't do it, and see how that feels. And I've found that I'm really like every 5 minutes I'm doing something where I'm going to delay it or be a little bit lazy here or there, just slight little things. And then I think, no, because then I'm the one who's going to have to deal with it later. I'll do it now and I'm sorted. And I'm just finding everything is flowing so beautifully right now. So remember that one. That's a big one. And finally, I want you to really remember that you're not seeking for anyone to understand what it is that you want to do. Be okay with being the only one to get it, the only one who understands what you're trying to create, until one day you've attracted your tribe and they get it too. But wanting to create something and wanting everyone to understand it in advance and wanting everyone to jump on board right away and have the same vision and same passion for it as you do, it's unrealistic. And like I said before, you're a green light. You might be surrounded by every other color but green at the moment. And this is why you're longing for a different life. You're longing for something bigger, something better, something different, something more aligned with you and your greenness, So a green light expecting every other color light, the red and the orange and the blue, to understand the green frame of mind, the green way, it's just not really fair, right? So understand that you are creating something that probably doesn't exist yet. Whether it's an iteration of something else you already see in the world, or whether it's something brand new that doesn't exist in the world yet, it's still something new that you are birthing. So as long as you have got it, as long as you're backing it and you're confident about it and you're able to maintain that confidence and understand that, yes, there are going to be shitty days, of course. And yes, there are going to be people that are going to judge you. There are going to be others that don't understand you. There are going to be really hurt people who are throwing their hurt at you. But that's not for you to worry about. And making peace with this before you start moving towards this thing that you really want is going to see you continue when times get tough. Because the truth is, success and failure are the same road. The successful ones just stay on that road a lot longer. That was actually the line that really made me step into this podcast, that quote. Because I had in the past started many things, and as soon as fear came into the picture or doubting myself, lack of confidence started, overcoming me, I would just jump straight off the path again. And the truth is, the only way to fail is to stop, is to give up. Take some time if you need to, take a pause here and there, take a day, take a week, take a month, whatever, but get back on the path and continue moving towards that thing you want. You're the one who knows what you can create. So give yourself the honor and the ability and the freedom to express that, explore that path. I'm so excited for you because I know this is such a little mindset tweak, but once you get over that little hurdle of worrying about others and worrying about what's coming at me and what potentially I might come up against with, you start making progress, you start taking action, and you start seeing what's possible. And the excitement and the joy that brings you is so much louder than any little judgment that comes from people who haven't done their own work and aren't following their passions. When you follow your passions, you trigger people who aren't following their passions. Because that's what we all actually want to do. We all just want to be doing the things that we love to do every day. That's it. We want to feel good. And we feel good by doing the things that we love every day. So most of us have convinced ourselves that that's not possible and have persuaded ourselves to step into a life that is much less than what we deserve and what we want, what we crave. So when you start moving boldly towards that thing that you want, you will trigger people who are not following their own dreams, who are not being brave enough to get out of that comfort zone. So see it as a compliment if you cop a little bit of judgment here and there. See it as a little milestone going, hey, I must be following my passion. Because I'm showing other people what they're not doing. I'm reflecting it to them and they're getting pissed off. But anyway, I hope this episode has been helpful. I always try to keep them at like 10 minutes and this one's ended up over 20. My goodness. But anyway, there's just so much info in this one. So those are 5 ways to create and maintain confidence of steel. Quick recap. Understand that your message is not going to be loved by everyone. That's okay. You don't love every piece of fruit and every vegetable, as we were talking about. Remember that those who throw hate are hurting. Hurt people hurt people. Remember that being confident is all about putting in the reps and just becoming really competent at something. That's it. And think about the things you already are competent in. You can definitely get there. You've just got to put in the reps. Remember to keep the promises to yourself. That's huge. And include your future self in on the conversation at all times when you remember to, because that's a big one that's going to remind you and help you to do the things you know you need to do now so that you're not leaving a big load of work for your future self. And don't seek for anyone to understand exactly what you're trying to do or achieve. Be okay being the only one with the vision, because guess what? You're the only one who can have that vision. And guess what? That vision has come to you because it's meant to be created and birthed through you. So honor it, honor yourself, and have so much fun creating. Hit me up anywhere. There's all the platforms. You can hit me up in the comments on YouTube. Let me know how you're feeling about this. Let me know how you're going in your own journey. Hit me up on Instagram at Truejectory or at Sarah Louise Maxwell. I love hearing from you guys and all the progress that you're making and the things that really resonate with you from these episodes. And also let me know what you want to hear more about, because I'm always open to doing specific episodes on certain topics from you guys. So love hearing from you. Have so much fun creating. I believe in you. You go ahead and believe. You go ahead and believe in you now. Okay. Stay true. Love you. Mwah.